What's up, everybody? Supersmallchibiwolf here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Full Metal Alchemist, the movie, and Conqueror of Shamballa. Now, first I want to talk about other characters. Now, the characters were interesting at first, but they slowly lose any value due to how the story progresses. I came into this movie knowing the characters, and yes, they somewhat keep what makes them good, but it felt bad overall. These characters should have been better. They do have their usual personalities, but as the story goes on, it doesn't use them as good as they should have, you know. And that was kind of disappointing about the characters as a whole, in general. First character I want to talk about is Edward. Now, he was the, usual funny and good full alchemist, guy. And then as the story goes on, it felt like he could have been used better. Don't get me wrong. But in the movie, he has I would say, out of all the characters, he has the best scenes. Really cool, nice. But in my opinion, when seeing, how the series, 2003 and going into this movie, I would say this is the best portray of him. He could have, what was it? I think, because this is, the movie, there's 2003 and then this after. I think he could have been used better, and judging him from what we got before this movie, it is disappointing to see that he wasn't as wow, he didn't leave as much as an impact as a whole. Don't get me wrong, he is the best character, but I think I hold him in more, compared to other characters, I hold him in more better standards. You know what I mean? Higher standards due to him being protagonist. So yeah, as a character, he's the best one. As the protagonist and for what his role is, he could have been better. So that's how I would put it. Next is Alphonse. In my opinion, Alphonse, in this movie, his memories from the previous anime are gone, and we get a L that is new to everything. While Edward is the only one out of the two that has the memories. He was a, pretty good, chill guy, and I don't want to, overhate a character that is presented bad in this movie, because comparing him to the Sirius, he was better than I would say other characters within this movie. For example, when watching this movie, I was like, what? As a whole, Alphonse, he's pretty cool. One of the good characters. He's on the side of the good characters. But comparing him to, I would say, for example, Voy, Riza, and also the villains within this movie, I'd say he's better than them as well. But comparing him to what we got previously on the other series, don't get me wrong, I think same for Edward. I kind of felt like, to be honest, like they could have, better, more expectations were, in my opinion, I've seen. I thought they could have had more. You know what I mean? More of an impact. It would, to be honest, another way how I would word it is that we kind of got the cheaper version. So yeah, but moving off of that. So Winry and Izumi, yeah, they aren't even given that much time to be presented in this movie. That much. This is, in my opinion, it was kind of the lower points in the movie. But seriously, they were really important in the series. You know what I mean? For example, what was it? Renri being the childhood friend, and there, supporting Edward and Alphonse. Izumi, the master, is there to support them as well and help them get in track of life, kind of helping them within their life. Really great. I would say the equivalent of like Master Roshi, in Dragon Ball. So, seeing this movie and seeing how both of them are presented and used that much as I would have liked, I think it kind of made me dislike that about the movie. I like those two. When we is like one of my favorite characters. She's like one of the best and smarter skills in anime, and next to like Bomo and what's her name from Tenchi Muyo, and yeah, man. So it was kind of, in my opinion, disappointing. Also, let me talk about some villains real quick as the other characters, right? The other characters, They were the same, Raph, and other homunculi were not even given a lot of time, and when they were used, it was kind of disappointing, you know. And for example, you what's his name? What was it? The homunculus, yes, Envy. That was the name. So, Envy in the original series, right? It is pretty interesting, really good villain, nice, well written. But in this movie, it was kind of wah, like that. You know, he was good. That's as good as it gets. Not great, good. And then the other characters, they kind of are how they are. And yeah, it really wasn't that into the other characters, to be honest. It just did not get my interest. And I also, was like, you know what? I'm going to watch this after. Because what I did is, I even went back to watch the original series and came to this movie to really know what, not nostalgia or any of that. So I wanted to really get a new idea of how these characters are presented in this movie compared to the 2003, which is an original ending. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this movie a favor, right? By doing that. So yeah, I kind of also there's these like characters like the gypsy girls and the other villains that weren't that interesting also. So yeah, so the story starts and ends fast, and what I mean by that is that it starts and feels interesting, but later on it introduces a new plot and it takes away any interesting setup that it would have had and that they did set up in the beginning. And I'll be honest, like I would have enjoyed the movie to go on how they set it up in the beginning. I think that would have been way interesting than what we got. This movie, this story, it it was interesting and times, but to be completely honest, as a whole, I would say it is good for what it is. Like for it's a movie. It set it up for the movie. It was, yeah, I'd say it was good. Not the best. Could have been better. And yeah, one thing I didn't enjoy about the movie as a whole, to be honest, is like, you know, they entered this world, right? As like, what was it? Travels to different universe, something I forget. To be honest, you know, I'm reviewing this I think a week now after watching the movie, and I kind of, to be honest, I really gave this movie a chance and kind of thought it over a lot before because I was like, okay, like I really want to make sure how I truly feel about this movie to give it a chance. But despite all of that, all that time and all that thinking, I honestly can say the story as a whole, it was okay at best. And in my opinion, how I rate and stuff like that is, like it's bad. Like really don't get near it. It's so, I would say, eh, okay, good, and then that's when it starts to get positive. So as a whole, I'd say the movie is okay. The story was okay. Yeah, story wise, it was okay. Little kind of had a, I don't know. I think what happened within this movie, character wise in story, is they could have presented it better. In my opinion, the story, it was okay, you know, and I kind of expected more. It's in a way you could say I was disappointed, but it wasn't as bad as a lot of people say it. And to be honest, a lot of people were, from what I heard, talking about other friends that watch anime, they really despise this story. Now the movie, the music, yeah, the intro had a smooth rhythm, it sets along a nice great tone for what's about to happen, and yeah, then the outro, it was, yeah, it could have been better. The outro was the only bad music, to be honest, in my opinion. The intro was good. So, yeah. So, the next point is I just want to make this fast. And this is the last thing, to be honest, I want to talk about is, you know, so, what was it? Square Enix is credited as produced by, and, Square Enix has made a couple anime. You've seen the Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. They did A Comical Kill, and yeah, I guess this one. I might be wrong, but when I was seeing the credits and listening to the outro, yeah, I saw it. I was like, Square Enix. So, in my opinion, you know what, Square Enix, I have to see it. Like, I don't know if they had, maybe I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe they had somewhat worked on, Full Metal Alchemist 2003. Now, if they did work on 2003, what I would say is this. You, Square Enix, have failed to do Full Metal Alchemist, good this time, in the second time around, which is this. But I think, you got one good, one bad. Now, if this is the only series they had, and didn't work in 2003, and I don't know about Brotherhood or any of that, but you failed, in my opinion. Now, with that being said, yeah, that's pretty much the last thing I wanted to talk about. I hope you enjoyed the video. Tell me what you think about this movie. Have you enjoyed it? Did you like it? With that being said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, bye. So I'm going to talk about a spoiler real quick. Okay, real quick. In the end, when we accept that Al and Ed is gone, and long story short, that's just stupid, and I don't like it. So with that being said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, bye. To be honest, I would say that's the worst part of the movie.